Hey guys, welcome to the Armory. Today we're checking out a cool gun from right over here. This is the Steyr AUG A3. This is a pretty cool example. This came out of a cool contract that somehow got surplused and wound up at an arms dealer in Austria. Thank you to Morristar for bringing that guy in for me. And we're going to talk about it today. We'll cover all the usual things. Controls, ergonomics, give you guys the weight and the specs on it, compare it to some other known quantities, and I'll just, talk about it a little bit. I think the AUGs are super cool. My first memory of this thing was on, man, what was that? It was 007, it was for the N64. It wasn't Golden, it was the next one. You were on like the one mission where you're skiing down the hill, you're on skis, and you have an AUG, and it's freaking sexy. And then of course there's the infamous Carl of Nakatomi Tower in Die Hard, which is in fact a Christmas movie. And yeah, that also set the stage. Those are the OGs though. This is the A3 with the upgraded things like a bolt release and pick rails on the optic and even this little extra clamp on for a grenade launcher, which is pretty cool. This one also goes both ways. It's a bi. What's a fun word for this? We'll call it a bifunctional gun. Maybe trifunctional if you include safe, semi, and the fun one. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. Pretty excited about that again. Thanks, somebody, John and Pyam over at Marstar. But yeah, if you want to see an original, well, we got a few extras tucked away in here. Let's click on the light over here. Come on, Rhino Metals. Why don't you put bigger eyes? You have magnificent safes, but the light system does annoy me. We have some Malaysian contract surplus guys over there, which are pretty beat up, but they're still pretty cool. We have another A3 because why not? One's lonely. You gotta give him a friend. And then over here we have a 9mm SMG. I have showed a lot of these off in a previous video. That's pretty cool. That was a personal gun of the armorer guy, the dude in Austria. Again, thank you, Alex. I'm very appreciative that you let me take that guy. And that's a commercial black sporter, which is less fun, but in very nice shape. So it's a nice example. We'll compare a little bit. For the most part, this is the hot and heavy edition. It's the coolest kit on the block, and that's basically the one we're going to talk about. There's very little differences between this and the standard guys, the previous generation, at least externally. Mostly just controls related based on the addition of a bolt release. You can get different chassis for them, so you can run Stanag mags, like AR mag type things, versus the AUGs. Waffle guys, we're making waffles, or whatever the Eddie Murphy donkey quote is from Shrek, something like that. But we're making AUG mags. This is the real deal. This is the 29 rounder. They also make a slightly smaller 29 rounder, which I will show you guys as well. But yeah, that's all set up here, and we'll give her a go. Oh, look at Aurora being such a nice girl, and Ruby, hi buddy, nice kitty. Okay, over here on the table, we've got the A3 measuring out at approximately 32.5 inches, king's toes, whatever that actual measurement ended up being. And that's to the end of the padded buttstock, more or less. If you want to top to bottom, we're roughly 13 inches. 12 and a half, 12 and change. That one doesn't matter as much. So let's see what we got for weight. 9.5 pounds, 4.3 kilos. Of course, that's with an unloaded big boy mag, 29 rounder, and this extra little accessory attachment up front for a GL 40mm mic, and the standard optic with the pick rails. And for your handy dandy comparison, we have the Steyr AUG here next to last week's Micro Uzi, beside a Beretta M9 for comparison value, and that's pretty cool. This thing is a decent size, but then you compare it to something like a full-size 16-inch barrel AR-15. This is particularly the X2 Dev Group ARX. You can see where even butt to butt, the tips are pretty far apart, considering This is a 16-inch, and that's also a 16 and a half inch. So pretty cool. And a general MP5 for good measure. Okay, so the AUG A3. This is an Austrian company, Steyr, and it's been around for a very long time. It predates World War II, all the cool interwar submachine guns, and when Germany couldn't manufacture cool things, they invested in Steyr. Steyr Downward Push was actually on a lot of MP40s and even some MG42s. Pretty cool stuff back in the day. And because they got around like some of the trade things by going, it was a German-owned company that operated in Switzerland, but because it wasn't in Germany, they could still build stuff. It's more complicated than that, but that's the Cliff Notes version. And this is the Steyr of today. It's very sexy. It still has the same roots that date back to the 70s. These are the STG 77 as adopted by the Austrians and the Australians. Australia, they also adopted one in similar fashion. It's not well used around the world, but apparently they do love it where they run it. And that's for good reason. I'll talk about that when we get to the ergonomics section because it is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. If you can get around some of the wonky controls, it's honestly a pretty slick system. Now, Austria is also very famous for another gun company that is ubiquitous around the world because they make the Glock 18. Yes, isn't that wonderful? And also the Glock 18C. And that's cool and all. It's even really cool when you have more than one. But that's a tale for another day. For all the nanny state wimbies out there, we're clear. No bolt hold, which is kind of sad. But you can manually bolt hold it if you just flip up. Come on, flip up. There we go. Wonder bar. And then your bolt hold will be disengaged if that is the case, which is weird because technically it actually does have a bolt hold. This one's just a little stubborn. It doesn't quite want to catch. Give me a second. On this one, it does. There you go. That's proper. Something's wrong with the other one. Maybe that's why that contract failed, because of poor quality assurance from Steyr, Austria. Bad Steyr, Australia. Anyways, this one, when it's in this position, will release. Just like that. Oh, very nice, very nice. But once again, even though it's proper, it won't do it when you actually got it in the cocked back position. You have to, although it does actually cycle right through, which is kind of cool. So if you're like this, you change a mag, and then you go, boop. Oh, okay, that's weird. That's weird. Then it catches. Then you have to do this. But theoretically, in the last round, bolt hold open, which this has, it'll catch there, and then do that. So a little weird that, come on. A kind of a fidgety bolt hold, and I will hold that against them. So anyways, I think it's an awesome gun. We'll continue. Okay, we'll confirm I just dropped the mag, put it back in, and then things worked properly. So again, let's try it. Okay, bolt hold open, pitch it up, catches it, drop it. Pull it back, catches it. Maybe the mag wasn't fully seated. Something was a little funky there though. And it definitely doesn't work consistently on the other gun, which is from the same batch, from the same order, from the same thing. So as you can see there, they are approximately 16, actually exactly 16 serial number placements away. So interesting, definitely from the same run. All right, let's kick things off here with just general features. Features, this thing is incredibly cool. The way the lockup is inside the receiver. The receiver has part of the trunnion, the bolt locks into that, and the barrel locks into that as well. They both lock independently into the receiver, which is very unique if you know that normally the barrel has the receiver extension, which the bolt locks into, like incorporated. That's how it is on an AR-15 and many other rifles. So it's kind of unique fact is that the extension is incorporated within the receiver. However, you still cannot release it without drawing the bolt back. So that's all it takes. This is your barrel, which is incredibly cool. You just pop it out like that. You could theoretically change barrel lengths that simply. Again, I say theoretically, but you can. This is very cool. You have a little drop and fold up handle. You could hold it this way. I don't know why you ever would. You're kind of dumb. It's meant to be a vertical forward grip for a reason, and it is pretty slick. More disassembly. is incredibly simple with this guy. Once again, you notice it didn't drop, it didn't catch. Why aren't you catching? So there's something funky going on here. Don't know why it is. Yeah, something's weird. Oh, right, this is the one that doesn't work. That's why. Silly me. We have an integral optic here. You can actually drift this pin out and swap it with a flat top upper. You can add other things on it, but that's a cool thing. I believe that functionality was brought in on the A2 model. Again, this is the A3. We have the cool donut of death optic, and it has pick rails all along the sides for accessories of your choice. We even have this little 3 o'clock position rail here for like a flashlight or a laser or something. It's pretty neat. It is easily accessed by just a boop, and if you have a little flash over there, you can just boop. I've mentioned the bolt release multiple times by now. You have a big disassembly block right here to pop it through. I'll show that on the disassembly video on my B channel at Arm & Armory. Go check it out. And there's a cool little thing here with the disassembly as well. And you can pop this sling swivel over to the other side if you so choose. Otherwise, you have a cutlass style grip, and I don't know, that's about it. Folding charging handle. Oh, and you have an adjustable gas block over here, so you can dial things in a little bit to your preference. Controls. Obviously, we've covered most of them again. Charging handle. You can lock her back by tilting it upwards there. It's a cross block. Safety. That's fire. Red for dead. That's safe. And somewhere in the middle is, well, that's that mode. You go all the way over, you can go extra deep. Oh yeah. Your little bolt release here, provided your barrel is back, your bolt is back. Boop. Trigger pull, not bad, honestly. It's not very heavy, but it is creepy, and you just don't know when it's going to go. And that's the extra bit right there. That's more defined. Basically, when you're at the end of the first one, it's just a flat wall, and you just push through it, and that's it. And it has a decent amount of travel. It is a grip it and rip it style. You grab the magazine, you boot back, you pull it out. That's, of course, ambidextrous, as the whole gun is, with the exception of the charging handle. AK Pro's got to come over the top. Oh yeah, like a boss. Lefties are going to take it in the face unless you swap it over, which I believe you can by getting a different bolt. There is obviously a seal here. You can pop this over. It's just not as simple as something like in Bizotech MDRX or something like that. Ergonomics. This gun is super nice in the ergo department. Well, it's super mixed bag. It's incredibly comfortable to hold and shoulder. It's very pointable. The front end is very lightweight. You can just whip it right up there and just hold it in the pocket of your shoulder with one hand very simply. That's nice. The controls are very nice for a lefty. Your charging handle's right here. All that stuff's good. The charging block is fine. I don't really care about the progressive trigger. It's fine. It's nice that you have a way to lock it out by going on semi-automatic only mode. I like the bolt release. Again, that's kind of righty friendly only. The only thing I don't really like is the mag release. You have to actually push up, and it's not a big control. I guess it's not an easily bumped control, but I find myself just loving, and again, of course, this came out way later, but the IWI TAR 21-4, that's got the grip it and rip it design, where you come here and you grab a paddle right there and just boop, rip it out, put it back in. I like that a lot. Having to boop this with your thumb is doable. You could certainly train for it. I just think it's slightly less superior to the grip it and rip it of the TAR 21-4. All right, guys, the secret sauce of this weapon platform is that it was probably one of the most successful Bullpups until the TAR 21 came along. And I judge that by how many foreign contracts accepted this. Like, you have the FAMAS, but basically only France took that. You have the British SA-80, but again, basically only Britain took that hunk of hot trash that collectors are willing to pay tons of money for. This thing actually got accepted by multiple other countries. And as an interesting history, like in the 1970s, when all these Bullpups kind of came to fruition, it was actually really cool history. The States didn't adopt it. They didn't go with EM2 post World War II, early NATO. Then they went with the M16 in terms of the 5.56 platform, but all these other countries, mostly in Europe, adopted the Bullpup platform, and it's just really cool. I think the AUG is one of the best represented examples and just overall best executed examples of that platform, the Bullpup platform. I've always found them incredibly sexy. I've always really liked them and admired them, and I'm incredibly grateful to have one of these in my armory. And by one, I mean a bunch. ASMR on this bad boy. For me, it's easy. It's also one of the most unique elements of the gun, and that is how quick and easy the barrel changes. Listen to this sound. Oh, that svelte sound. Oh, that is just so fine. Alrighty guys, there you have it, the Steyr AUG STG-77. Just a beautiful, beautiful example of the A3 model, all decked out. Man, what a cool gun. If you want to see the disassembly, check out my B channel, Arm & Armory. That video will probably drop shortly after this one. I'm a little behind on the disassemblies because I've been away with work for the last 2 weeks, and I'm just happening to catch up now. GatCat says he sees something over here. I disagree, there's nothing over there. Oh, he's just kidding. He just wanted to be playful. Hi, buddy. If you're still here after all that, thank you a ton for supporting. Please check out my merch at Bunker Branding. News dropped today that Matt Carricker is retiring soon, the father of Demolition Ranch and Off the Ranch. Sad to hear about that. Also the founder of Bunker Branding. So at any rate, hope all is well with him, and just thanks again, guys, for being back. I'm loving doing this. This is my first day off in like most of January, and after sitting on the couch recovering for a while, I just want to come down here and talk about the AUG. So that's what I did. Thanks for being a part of it. I'll continue to do that because it's just been fun. These are no stress videos. I'm just enjoying them, and it is what it is. And thank you very much. So stay tuned for the next one. I'm doing my best to get these out every Monday afternoon for y'all. Something to kick off the week with, and that's that. So, oh, is it your turn to get some attention? I think so. All right, I'm out of here. Catch y'all later. Bunker Branding merch and Patreon. Thanks, guys. Arm&Gun.